Hey there people, and welcome back again on this channel Swiss RC World. And today we're gonna build the Thor, which is a non-motorized glider flying wing from kustenflieger.de, and the links are gonna be in the description. And today we're gonna build it, so I'm gonna give you a close-up look about what comes in this kit, like the wings and tape and so on. As you can see, the two wing halves come pre-cut from CNC cut EPP. You got Depron winglets on here. Then I got the suggested servo, which are 7.5 gram micro servos, digital. I got 3 of those, so I have one spare. Then I got this NIMJH battery. I think it's 400 milliamp hours, yes. 4.8 volt for the receiver. I got 2 of those. Then in this bag you can see you have some ribs, which are gonna fit onto your wing. You get some wooden sticks to connect the wings together like that, because the wings are removable. Then you get Depron winglets, 2 of them, carbon fiber push rods, a manual or 2 manuals, a sticker, as well as control horns and control linkages and so on. So it's a pretty nice kit. I also ordered the Mistral bungee rope to launch the plane. And you also get 2 colors of packing tape. I chose red and yellow, and those are free together with Thor. So first we're just gonna lay all these parts away, and I'm gonna show you which tools you will need to build the Thor. This is what I got here. You will need an X-Acto knife or just a sharp knife with a new blade. Then some CA glue. This is medium CA glue. You will need some sandpaper. I got 150 or 240 right here. And you need a pair of pliers to rip out the foam on the side where these plywood mounts go on. So you will put the battery and the receiver in here. That's pretty much it. If you want, you can use activator with CA glue, or you can also use Gorilla Glue or whatever. But I think for a connection from EPP to plywood, CA glue would work the best. Due to the reason that we're gonna tape the wings together afterwards, we're gonna sand the EPP. I use 240 grit sandpaper. And we're just gonna take a piece and first try it out with the block the wings came out of, and just take it in your hand and sand it. You're not gonna push too hard, because then it's gonna rip the EPP. It's gonna rip some balls out just like that. As you can see, it gets a hole. But the surface, I think you can even see that on camera. You can see the surface is much smoother. So we're just gonna take one wing and lay it flat on your hand and just sand. I'm probably only gonna tape the front edge of the wing, so here I need to be very careful, as well as in the middle where the 2 wings will join.
Stop messing with my head.
Just like that. We're also gonna sand this edge right here. but I would not recommend doing this with your hand, because right here we're gonna glue on the plywood mount. So I would suggest you to use sanding block for that. But I'm just to show you, I'm gonna do it with my hand. So look at compare this EPP, which is not sanded, to this, which I'm gonna sand right now. And hopefully you can see the difference on the screen, and I will know. And here at the edges you're going to be very careful, because as you can see some EPP falls out. Just like that. That looks fine, pretty smooth surface for EPP. So repeat the same process with the other wing half, and then we're gonna build the rest of the plane. So when you have sanded both wing halves, you're gonna mark the space where you won't need to put glue, and to do that you're gonna hold your plywood piece on there and just take a pen and mark it down, just like I did. And then I read the manual, which is this little book right here, and they say you would have to use 5-minute epoxy to connect these two. So I will actually use 5-minute epoxy, and not, like I said before, the CA glue. So I have some foam safe 5-minute epoxy here, which is called Epoxy, and I'm just gonna put glue around there where right here the receiver and the battery are gonna go. So I'm not gonna put glue here and here, but all the rest of the plane I'm gonna put some epoxy. Try to match the glue as equal as possible, so take 2 beads which are as exact as possible the same size, and just mix for about 30 seconds, or even less, because this is 5-minute epoxy. Just like that. Then we're gonna smear some of the epoxy to all the places where we need it. I use a Depron, a little trash Depron piece here, to spread my glue out. The trailing edge is probably pretty important, so put enough epoxy right there. Here. But I still wouldn't use tons of epoxy, because this is just a glider, and so it has to be as light as possible. Just like that. Take the rest of it. And now you're going to take your plywood piece and first attach it to the front, and then you're just gonna have to hold it like that for a few minutes. So when the plywood pieces are glued on, you're first gonna push in your little wooden stick in there, into one of these holes, and then we're finally gonna use our CA glue we took up front. And we're just gonna put it in halfway. Just put some CA on here. Actually, also into the plywood. Just a little drop. then push it in, just about halfway in, about like that. And then also put another drop of CA around the joint right there, just like that. And we're gonna take the second wooden stick, push it in first, then put some CA on there. Also in the plywood frame, and push this one in as well. And this one actually already has enough glue in there, so that's done. Take your long pliers as well as your X-Acto knife, and we're just gonna cut a little slot in here to fit our electronics. It works best when you lay it down on the workbench and do like I do right here. Then when you have cut around the frame, just go in with your pliers and rip it out. This is gonna create a little mess right here, so, but that's just when building with foam planes. Try to cut in as vertical to the plywood frame as possible, because as you can see here and here it's very thin, so you're not gonna want to cut through the airfoil, because that's gonna affect the flight characteristics. And then cut in again. On this side I'm gonna put my receiver and my battery, so both on the same side, just to make the connection or the power connection easier. I'm just gonna repeat this step once more. Then grab your battery from somewhere here and test fit it. The battery is better if it looks out, but the receiver back here is not gonna look out. Now when you have cut your slots right here, you're gonna push in your two halves together, just like that, and push a hole into the EPP on the side where there's no wooden sticks. Then I cut them down with a wood saw, and we're just gonna file the corners off to make it like narrow. We're just gonna make a little tip right here to make it easier to put it into these holes. Like that. Maybe rewind as well. And we're gonna put them back together like that. It's just a little bit easier, just like that. There you can see it's still pretty rigid, so a longer wooden stick doesn't do anything actually. So I'm using an orange RX 6-channel receiver. So on the side here you can see you have some clips. I'm just gonna open these with my X-Acto knife, because I'm not gonna be using the case, the orange case right here. It's too big and too heavy, so put that away. And we have our receiver here. It fits in here pretty nicely. The antenna should actually look this way, right in there somewhere. Just like that. As you can see, it disappears fully inside the slot, not like the battery, which looks out like half, just like that. So you can remove it. You now see that you have cut enough space in there. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna cut some space in the right wing half for a battery, and actually we're just gonna cut the front hole in this plywood piece. And take your pliers. Just repeat the exact same process as before.
Put your fucking lights up.